Oh hey, didn't see you there, class of 2018. But now I do. I'm reading a book about the world history. Let me tell you about Korea.
So what was the Korean War?
Okay, teacher, I know. Yes, little Perry. What is the Korean War? I don't know. Well, I guess it's called the Forgotten War for a reason. Seeing that everyone's video sucked, I am going to ask random people in the CAD lab about the Korean War. Let's go.
Man, I don't care about the Korean War.
What do you know about the Korean War?
No.
What do you know about the Korean War?
Didn't you already ask me?
What do you know about the Korean War?
I don't know Jack.
What do you know about the Korean War, Nick?
I don't know.
Better known as today as the Forgotten War. It was actually so big that it was the first real gun war that the Americans fought in since the end of World War II. So what exactly was the Korean War? Well, at this time in the 1950s, there was a North Korea and a South Korea. Korea was just split in half between a communist state of rule and a democratic state of rule. North Korea wanted all of Korea to be a communist nation. And other communist powers in Asia, such as the USSR and China, also thought that that was the best thing for their communist nations to grow and get more power and dominance throughout Europe and the world. What did North Korea decide to do? Well, Kim Il-sung decided that invading South Korea was the best option, and he did that. He invaded South Korea. Now, President Truman was the President of the United States during this time in the 1950s, and he went to the UN to get authorization to go fight them and help the South Koreans. Now, Truman always insisted that the Korean War wasn't actually a war, and it was more of a UN police action led by the USA troops. So what did they do when they got to North Korea? Well, they pushed the North Koreans back to the 38th parallel, which is the border between South Korea and North Korea. And once they got there, Truman made the decision to reunite Korea as a non-communist state. They actually pushed the North Koreans all the way up to the Yuhao River, which was the border of China. And China thought, well, hey, you guys are getting a little too close to us, so they counterattacked UN forces and United States forces on November 1st, 1950. And by Christmas, they were already all fighting back at the 38th parallel. So all that time, they got up there, and China came in, and they pushed them all the way back to where they already. Then the war went on for 2 more years after the North Koreans pushed them back to the 38th parallel. So during that time, the United States actually dropped more bombs on Korea than they did in the entire Pacific campaign in World War II. And this war was very expensive. Not only was it expensive cost-wise for all the countries that participated in it, but it cost a lot in lives. Over 33,629 United States troops were killed, and 102,000 were wounded, and nearly 4 million Chinese and Koreans were killed, mostly civilians. So overall, this war was very important because not only was it their first time really fighting in Asia, the first time the United States actually directly fought a communist nation. And I know I'm not talking about Korea, I'm talking about, at this time, China, because in 1949 became a communist nation. Goodbye.
Just test something.